There are a lot of bad TV shows and movies being produced in Hollywood right now, but so far, Cobra Kai is one of the standouts. One of the standouts of the past 5 years, where nearly every single season that's come out has just been absolutely top notch. And there's a variety of reasons for that. But I think the most important thing is that this series is simply out there to entertain people. That's what it's about. And if you would have told me, well, in fact, people did tell me 5, 6 years ago, hey, go check out this series. It's like on YouTube and it's about like the Karate Kid, but they're all grown up and stuff like that. I had zero interest. I was never really the biggest Karate Kid fan, to be quite honest with you. I watched the movies, but I was never like super attached or super into them. But I'd seen them just like everybody else my age had at some point. But Cobra Kai season 5, once again, is an incredible journey. Somehow, they managed to do things that if they did it in nearly any other Hollywood production, anything that's going on right now, you would think, that's so cheesy. Like, that's so lame. That's so cheesy. However, when they do it, because of the stakes they've set in this world, because of how people operate in this world, because of how they've treated the entire show and the entire series, it has some huge emotional payoffs. In episode 2, and again, I'm not going to spoil this because I want everybody to go watch this for themselves. I'm going to spoil it if it's fucking bad. If I think it's terrible, I would spoil it because I don't care. I don't care to spoil you if I think it's bad. However, if I think something's good, if I think something out there is worth you seeing, I'm not going to spoil it for you. So the return of Terry Silver, we knew that Terry Silver, he came back in season 4, ended up setting up all the things that happened with Kreese leading up to the start of season 5. So all these pieces are on the board. You had at the end of season 4, we know what happened with Miguel when he went off, when he chose not to fight and instead wanted to find out what was going on with his dad. Well, like the first 2 episodes, you end up with this amazing emotional payoff for Miguel and for Johnny and for a lot of other characters that I won't necessarily name right now that are part of this thing. And then you get to see a relationship, a rivalry that's been there for a while. Finally, they get everything ironed out. And now with these guys on the same side, they're an unstoppable team. And that goes for more than just 2 groups of enemies in this. Once again, you have pairings, you have relationships that are tumultuous between the kids. It's one thing they do really well in Cobra Kai. They have the kids on their own kind of B plot, but the parents on their plot as well. And you're interested and invested in what's going on with all of them somehow. And even though there is teen emotional drama at play, and even though I will criticize, I think that there's a little too much Sam LaRusso in this series. I could take a little bit less of Sam, even though I do think she's a valuable character. You have that all culminating in almost like an Avengers Endgame style thing at the end. And there's surprises, there's twists, there's literal moments where you're like, man, I'm getting choked up. I'm trying not to fucking cry over this stupid karate show that makes no sense. Why are all these people breaking out into fights all the time? Where's the police? Except when the police conveniently are needed, then there's a lot of them apparently. Like, this is such a unique show because it's able to get away and do things that most people in Hollywood aren't nowadays. They can get away with things that don't really make a lot of sense. And people are always running into each other. You go to a store, you run into each other. You go to a restaurant, oh, you happen to run into this person you know. Because it's like this valley is stuck in this dimension. It's in another universe. It doesn't make any sense. Where people just really fucking care about karate for some reason. And they all happen to kind of know each other in this valley. How many people? What's the population here? I don't know. Nobody ever actually has to actually go to work. At one point when Daniel actually goes to work, people are like, wait, where you're actually going into work? Yeah, he's going into work, even though it hasn't been addressed the entire season. But it doesn't matter because it's almost like this is just a continuation of the type of entertainment that you had in the 80s that was fun and compelling, but still could be emotional. And you had a feel-good moment at the end. And that's what Cobra Kai is and has been for 5 very good seasons now. And of course, at the end, they set up what's going to happen in season 6. So those are just my initial thoughts on this. I don't want to get too into detail because, again, I want everybody to watch it for themselves. Terry Silver is such a great villain. He is conniving. He is very powerful and, very intimidating in his role. They had several new characters. We knew Chosen that we saw from earlier seasons of Cobra Kai. We knew Chosen was going to play a big part in this season, and he very much did. I could argue maybe there's a little too much Chosen at times, but overall, I think people really are going to like Chosen when they watch this. And of course, Johnny and Daniel. It all comes down to these journeys that Johnny and Daniel are going through. And Johnny's a little bit of a surprise, maybe, but still some big payoff at the end of the season. And Daniel, once again, frustrating to watch Daniel sometimes because you go from hating the guy to then loving him and rooting for him. But another good journey for Daniel LaRusso as well. If you have time, I highly recommend you watch all 10 episodes of Cobra Kai Season 5 as soon as you can. It has consistently been one of the best things in entertainment the past several years. Season 5, just another step in that. I don't know where I'd put it. I'd have to rewatch everything again to really put it in perspective. I would say it's one of the better seasons, though. It's definitely not on the bottom. It's definitely near the top. Maybe my second or third favorite season. Either way, go watch Season 5 of Cobra fucking Kai. No mercy, baby.
Thanks for watching, everyone. And a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.